Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special edition of Explosive Exclusive. A sensational drug angle emerges in the Sushant case. The Enforcement Directorate earlier today has shared call detail records and deleted WhatsApp records from Rhea Chakrabarti and some others. And these chats are talking about drug deals. Yes, drug dealing as well as consumption of drugs. And tonight on Explosive Exclusive, we are going to expose for you who are the people who these chats are between and what they are talking about and how this entire circle was working in terms of this drug conversation. And Rahul, extremely important information. What we do know at this point in time, that Rhea Chakrabarti and a close group of people who were in Sushant's house were talking about not only consumption but also deals on drugs.
Deals.
Dealing on drugs is the word that has been used by investigation agencies. Now, this report, these WhatsApp chats have been shared between the Enforcement Directorate, the Narcotics Control Bureau, as well as the CBI. And there are people whose conversations have been got. They have been downloaded from iCloud, where they have been stored, even though these individuals tried to delete these WhatsApp conversations. Rahul, is it time for us to unveil the names of these individuals?
Yes, indeed, of course. But Navika, this is a very, very, very sinister twist. So you're suggesting that there has been some sort of dealing in banned drugs and that Rhea Chakrabarti is a part of it. Now, this takes me back to the conversation that you put out. And you're saying all of this is on WhatsApp. So there is definitely proof. You're saying that the
that is the proof that has been sent in a sealed envelope from Enforcement Directorate to the Narcotics Control Bureau as well as to the CBI.
Now, if you remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, but back in January or February, the relative of Sushant Singh Rajput, his brother-in-law, had actually written to the then DCP of Bandra, saying that Sushant Singh Rajput's life is in danger. He's fallen in bad company. That was the words used.
February. Those messages were sent to the DCP, Dahia, DCP of Bandra West at that time, and those chats really said about how they were worried about Sushant Singh Rajput. He was in bad company, and now these WhatsApp chats between Rhea Chakrabarti, her brother Shauvik, Samuel Miranda, Dipesh Sawant. These are the four individuals between whom chats have been recovered by the Enforcement Directorate. We are at the moment constrained to tell you, but last week on Explosive Exclusive on Thursday, I remember, we had promised our viewers that there is another sinister angle that was being probed. We've been following this story since then, and now 5 days later, when it has been confirmed by investigation agencies, we are bringing you the latest on this WhatsApp chats between Rhea as well as Shauvik, Dipesh and the individuals that we are talking about at home have been there.
But at whose behest? Now, this is very, very important, viewers, because, when you have conversations such as this that have been accessed by the agencies and they have been passed on to the NCRB, the National Narcotics Control Bureau, then you have, viewers, something really serious and sinister to examine. If it's all there, and these WhatsApps can immediately, in fact, incriminate individuals very clearly, because they are part really of the evidence that is admissible now in courts. Electronic digital evidence is admissible, and this is why a large number of people, Tamal and Siddhant, are also with us. Siddhant, this is why many people have been saying that the electronic evidence is critical, and that a large number of WhatsApps had been deleted, emails had also been deleted. all of this now beginning to add up, isn't it?
Well, that's absolutely right, Rahul. And, you see the lapses that we have exposed day by day, that how Mumbai police opened Sushant's phone themselves at the time of an investigation. And then later, almost after 3 weeks, the phone was sent to the forensics lab in Kalina. Not just that, yesterday, Priyank did a sting operation where they accepted the fact that, the body came, the reports came late because there was a delay in post-mortem. So all these lapses we are exposing day by day. Not just the cell phone, Rahul, even the electronic devices available with Sushant Singh Rajput were also opened by the Mumbai police for the investigation purposes. Now, this is something which Mumbai police needs to answer at this point in time, because going by the books, this is not allowed. No investigating officer or a police force can open or play around with the critical and the crucial evidences like mobile phone and electronic gadgets. But in this particular case, the mobile phones and electronic gadgets were sent late, and this is a very crucial lapse that we have been highlighting from a very first day, Rahul.
Well, yes, Navika, you wanted to make a point.
We are looking at these, and these four individuals extremely important: Dipesh Sawant, Shouvik Chakravarti, Rhea Chakravarti, and Samuel Miranda. Now, at least Dipesh Sawant was present at the house at that point in time when the body was recovered. Also present at the house at that time was Samuel Miranda. The question is, and this is the moot question that I want to take across to Tamal, who's also joining us. Tamal, Samuel Miranda talking about drugs, and the Mumbai police saw no necessity of questioning or recovering these phone data records. Nothing.
Well, Navika, first thing first, Samuel Miranda was inside the CBI office here at DRDO guest house. Now, I've been here since 9 o'clock in the morning and I did not see him entering. But very surprisingly, at around 10:30 to quarter to 11, Samuel Miranda steps out of DRDO guest house. He was wearing a black t-shirt, he was wearing a black mask, and he was walking out. He wanted to avoid media. As soon as we recognized him, he turned back. He walked inside the DRDO guest house once again, and since then he hasn't come out. Now, it's been several hours, Navika, just not Samuel Miranda, it's Dipesh, it's Neeraj, it's Siddharth Pithani, they're all inside. And that apart, the former chartered accountant of Sushant Singh Rajput, Sandeep Sridhar, and also former account manager Rajat Mewati, they are also inside. Now, it's been close to 7 to 8 hours that these people are inside the DRDO guest house facing the CBI. Question is, did Mumbai police invest this much of time? Forget going through all the forensics, forget going through all the phone records, everything. Did they invest this much of time after each and every respective individual to understand whether there was any conspiracy at all in the first place? Navika, we all know what happened on June 14. As soon as the incident happened or the news came to our attention, there was a picture of Sushant Singh Rajput, very objectionable picture that was floated, and that picture was not snooped upon by media people. That picture was leaked out by Mumbai police, not one but three. Three pictures of Sushant Singh Rajput's body were literally floated to media in a way to give the suggestion or give the narration and endorsement that it was a suicide. And that's where the first objection should be coming, and the first question should be raised to Mumbai police as who leaked those pictures, whether they have deliberately done so in order to substantiate or endorse the narration of suicide. At this point in time, it's been 7 to 8 hours, Navika. The interrogation is on, and we are also given a sense, as Bhavtosh broke the news, that Sandeep Singh too will be questioned in days to come. But at this point in time, it's Dipesh, it's Siddharth Pithani, it's Neeraj, and also Keshav. Navika, I forgot to mention, even Keshav is inside. So all these principal characters who were there in the house of Sushant Singh Rajput on June 14, the day when the body was recovered under mysterious circumstances, these people are being questioned for the past 4 to 5 days. Neeraj had been facing CBI for the past 5 consecutive days. So the question before the Mumbai police that would be coming time and again as did they do enough to convince a bereaved family that they are investigating the matter, that there is no foul play. The family had lost out patience, and eventually they came out with a complaint alleging abetment to suicide and conspiracy. The fundamental of public perception and the larger doubt that we all have oozes out from that very complaint which has been filed by the family of Sushant Singh Rajput, alleging conspiracy, and that's exactly what CBI is trying to probe and unearth, decode fact after fact, go into the layers of of the matter. Back to you.
Yes, a very, very serious development here, viewers. Very, very serious. Siddhant, I just want to bring you in on this. Now, the question arises that if there was drug consumption as well as dealing racket, how is it that the Mumbai police has been clueless all this while? Why is it taken the unfortunate death of Sushant Singh Rajput to pull this out? And it makes it all the more suspicious because this matter was flagged to the police, to the DCP of Bandra Zone, the former one, Mr. Rhea, in February. And people stepped on it. Had the police gotten into this, there would have been perhaps an investigation and the truth would have come out. Siddhant, explain this.
That's absolutely right, Rahul. You see, when this first message was sent to Rhea, it had several other meanings as well. But Mumbai police did not look into the details of that message. What was it exactly? Instead of that, they asked Mr. Singh to give a written complaint first. Second, you see, Rahul, from a very first day, there were a lot of things floating around. Mumbai police did not even probe a single angle. Now, today, you see, Enforcement Directorate is sharing the detail of drug involvement in this entire case with Narcotics Control Bureau. And we have spoken to the officers in Narcotics Control Bureau. They are already on the job. They have instructed their officers to start the investigation, to start the probe, whatever findings may be. But they are interested in looking into that. Now, even Mumbai police also has a narcotic wing. Why this particular angle was not probed by Mumbai police first, and why, if not at a local police station level, this particular angle could have been shared by the Bandra unit to the narcotic unit of Mumbai police. But that was not done. So now even the central investigating agency is sharing the same detail with the other central investigating agency to look into this entire matter. Now, you talk about lapse, Rahul, and you will find it in this entire investigation. And this is what we have been exposing from day one, that how power play was done through this investigation, how the minute details were completely avoided at the time of an investigation, how the biggies were called in as a part of a power play instead of the people, those who were associated with Sushant during his last days were not called in. So all these things are there. And very important point, one of the IPS officers were telling me that day that usually in such cases, Rahul, police forces keep family in good faith. So even after 1 month also, if family has to make any claims or allegations on someone, they can come, they are always welcome. But in this particular case, you see, family has to say that they don't have any faith on Mumbai police, and from there it all started. Instead of giving complaint to Mumbai police against Rhea Chakrabarti and others, they gave complaint to Bihar police, and from where it all started. So you see, from a very first day, it clearly appeared, and all these things establishes one thing, that the cops were really not serious as far as the investigation is concerned, and what was happening, I really don't know, but this is surely not a professional way to probe any case.
Not a professional way, not a professional way. Tamal, imagine if the police had woken up. Imagine if the police had woken up 5 months back. This entire conspiracy would have blown open. Sushant's house help, Dipesh Sawant. You have a situation where Souvik, who is, of course, the brother of Rhea Chakrabarti herself, and others are today being investigated for drug dealing. Now, this is very, very serious because it does apply. And Dr. Subramaniam Swamy earlier this morning had even come out and said that there's a Dubai link to all of this. And this now opens up a Pandora's box. Were they acting on their own? Who was the kingpin? Is the kingpin outside of this circle? Is it even a bigger name? Is it a politician? Are some of these individuals affiliated to politicians? Were they supplying drugs perhaps to politicians? And if so, is that the reason why the Mumbai police probe wanted to bury this entire case as quick as possible, get it out of the headlines, and now with all of these skeletons tumbling out, these are big, big questions. Who are the VIPs?
Well, Rahul, if we talk about the basics, very basics, did Mumbai police issue any press statement apart from the fact that they are investigating, that they find it's a matter of suicide? Did they come out with any statement about these respective individuals as what their locus standi had been to be in that house on the day that is June 14? And mind you, Rahul, Keshav had been missing. Did Mumbai police question him even once? The answer is a no. Keshav was not available for questioning. But now, Keshav is there inside the DRDO guest house in front of CBI. He entered into the DRDO guest house this morning and he is facing CBI. So that's the basic question that anybody would want to ask. If Keshav is the fourth key person who was there in that house on June 14, how come Mumbai police could not find him at the first place, leave aside questioning, and what really happened, which way the earth turned once again, that the CBI managed to find Keshav, connect with him, convince him and ask him to appear for the questioning, and now that he is being questioned by CBI, that's a very basic to even underline that possibly there was something not, something not right with Mumbai police investigation, and there's more than what meet the eyes.
Now,
and also, having said that,
yes,
there are several allegations coming to.
Yes, no, sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, Tamal, but there are about 3 or 4 big questions that now arise. Number one, was Rhea Chakravarti, if these allegations are true, if the WhatsApps exist, and if they are all pointing towards this drug dealing angle, was Rhea Chakravarti then the kingpin of a self-sustained drug ring? Number one. Number two, were these drugs being used by Rhea Chakravarti to perhaps even influence Sushant Singh Rajput? Remember, many people have come out and said, viewers, that his behavior had changed after he had met Rhea Chakravarti. 3, if this is not a self-sustained ring, closed ring, then who are the individuals who are linked to this ring? Number 4, who are the suppliers? There's always a supply chain that leads to individuals who are pushing the contraband. Who are the suppliers? Number 5, are these suppliers in high places? Are the recipients in high places? Were Rhea's activities, obviously if it's drug dealing, how commercialized were they? Was money obtained and squirreled away in accounts, in perhaps shell companies? We don't know. These are the questions that will now appear, viewers, as the most salient ones as we go forward. We're going to take a short break. Lots more coming up on this story. It's going to get bigger. Don't go away.